eclipse day. I 100% expect it to get a little bit dark and then nothing else to happen. People have been asking me what I think is going to happen on the eclipse day. Nothing. From a Earth and moon and stars and that type of thing, nothing's. This is one of those things is we could have told you this is going to happen 100 years ago. So I don't think anything's going to happen. Is it possible that someone decides to utilize this to do something silly? Of course, but you could utilize any day for some specific reason to make it do something silly. So I don't think anything's going to happen. I'm not freaking out about it. Kids are going to school, the whole 9 yards. So I think this has been built up a little bit bigger than it should, but it is what it is. And to be fair to everybody, this entire year is going to be chaos, wheels off, craziness. I just don't think it's going to start until middle, late June, maybe July. But that's just kind of it. All right. So as far as the bodybuilding update, so went to posing practice this weekend. Which is still pretty impressive. Like the amount of intricacy and delicate, all the little things, turn this toe in, push out with the ball of that foot, get it in the floor just right, 2 inches further out here, twist. Like there's a lot more to it to do it right than which is how everything is. If you're gonna do it really high level, there's a lot to it. So that was interesting. And so I talked to Kuklo and I'm like, hey man, I'm struggling to stay at 230, 233. I don't know, we can drop 10 pounds of water, I know, to get to 225. And I said, but we got basically 2 months left. So I'm a little bit worried about making weight. And he looks at me and he goes, well, it is called bodybuilding for a reason. So we're looking like we're going to move up to the heavier weight class, which I think is unlimited after 225. So I'll be competing against guys who theoretically could be 260, 270 at the same percentage body fat. So we'll see where that goes. I think that'll be fun. But we're just going to keep going. I will say that since I know pretty much no other way to work out than to go and push and real hard. I can design workouts where you're going to kind of half-ass it, where you're going to kind of use lighter weight and do this and that, but do a whole lot more reps. But I don't know. It's not the way I like to work out. So we'll see where it ends up in the next 6 weeks, because we're not quite at 2 months anymore. We're about 6-7 weeks out. So we'll see. One of the other things is he goes, all right. He's like, muscles are starting to look really good. He's like, I can't wait to see what that happens when we fill you full of carbohydrates and all that glycogen and puff them up and see how that goes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that here in about 3 or 4 weeks. I'm going to try to knock a little bit more fat off first so we can see everything a little bit better. So that should be interesting. I'm going to design out a 40-50 GI high carbohydrate 4 or 5 day pump diet. And so we should see how that goes. That's going to be, I think, interesting. So I haven't figured out what that's going to be yet. I'll go into how that's going to go as we get closer to it. Real quick on some of the other stuff, the Pillars of Wellness is going to get a facelift here in about 2 weeks, maybe so. And we're going to start changing some of the supplements over in the next couple months. The labels on the supplements. So we're moving to Pillars of Wellness because that's kind of a more encompassing brand than just my name, because we're going to have other people doing other things. Lou made some videos last night for those of you who have been asking about, how to make the foods and the diets and the desserts and stuff. That's for what I'm eating. She made fudge. She made, what else did she make? Reduced condensed milk. The fudge is pretty good. If you're a big chocolate person, it's big blocks of, pretty solid chocolate. She's going to do I think she's going to do the cheesecake here later this week. She's going to do a couple other things. So, we'll have those on the Pillars of Wellness website as soon as she gets done with them. Hopefully in about 10 days, we'll have some of those videos up. We had an interesting time getting them all set together and put up. But if there's something specific you guys want to see, hit us up, questions@chalmerswellness.com, and kind of tell us what you're looking to do. I'm smoking a turkey today. because why not? And that should be fun. So if you guys have any questions about how we're making any of the food, what goes into it, how it looks, that type of thing, hit us up. If there's a specific keto or regular food that you guys are trying to figure out how to make or how to tweak or how to cut the glycemic index on or whatever, send us an email. The diet part of this is a big part. People always want to talk about the testosterone, they want to talk about the lifting, they want to talk about all the supplementation. But the chemicals you put in your body every single day, whether it's supplementation or food, are hypercritical to the way your body's going to function and feel. So just because you're not, I'm not gaining fat or I'm not too fat. Yeah, but if you're putting a bunch of chemicals in your body that your body has to like overly work through, seed oils, processed stuff, things like that, it's going to be detrimental to your health long term. So if you guys are getting into cooking, get into it. Like it's really, really, really a cool thing to be able to create something that's tasty and delicious and all that stuff. So get into it. Watch some of the stuff that Lou does. I've started cooking a lot more. It is not nearly as difficult as you think it is. There's little tricks and little tips to get something from a 7 to a 9 or a 7 to a 10. And Lou will teach you some of those little things about how you fold in the sweeteners and how you cream it all out and stuff like that. So she'll be able to do that, and you're going to see a lot of those videos. And then obviously ask questions if you're something that you don't know, or hey, can we swap this in for this, or I have issues with these things or those things. One of the things we see more often than not that are causing significant issues in people are food allergies, food sensitivities, things like that. So there's an easy way to test and get rid of those. We muscle test for them, and then we thera, and they go away. Eat a peanut and die. We can usually knock that out in about 20 minutes. Some of them go from, if I eat this, I die, to if I eat this, I sometimes get a slight stomach upset. But, from a 10 to a 2 is a pretty solid decrease in food sensitivity. One of the things we do see a lot is there's a stacking effect. So if you're off to like 1 or 2 on 6 different foods and you eat those 6 different foods all the time, it is going to create some issues. So going through and cleaning those up is a big piece. I'm not a big fan of the blood food sensitivity stuff. I haven't seen it to be super effective because there's been a lot of times people have tested way off to things as far as blood goes, and they go, every time I eat this, I don't notice any change. And we'll muscle test them, and they'll be on to it. And then we'll test them to get something that they're a level 1 to, and they're wildly off to it. And they go, yeah, I don't know how that's a 1. Every time I eat it, my throat gets scratchy and like my stomach gets real upset and I get super gassy. So, I prefer muscle testing because it's been substantially more effective, cheaper, faster, and easier. So if you have somebody around you who knows how to muscle test and actually is good at it, I would have you go the muscle testing route long before I'd have you do the blood work. But if you guys want the blood work, we can do the blood work. That's fine. However kind of you want it. Like I always say, I'm here to give you options, and you're an adult, you choose. But the food sensitivity things are a really, really big deal. So if we're going to start talking about, changing your diet and eating different and cooking more, one of the things we're going to have to talk about is the food sensitivity stuff, because that is a big player. But the food sensitivity is a problem, whether you're getting it from a grocery store, whether you're getting it from a restaurant, whether you're having a friend make it, whether you're eating processed foods, it doesn't really matter. Anytime that you put a chemical in your body that your body reacts negatively to, we're going to have issues. So if you guys have any other questions, hit us up, questions@chalmerswellness.com, and we'll go through all of that type of stuff. I'll post some pictures from posing practice. We'll see how that goes. It was a great time. And every time I go, it's one of those things where it's like, they're like, set your ground. You're like, oh, that's right, I gotta do that. So it's toes all the way up to nose, but it's a really, really interesting, fun thing. So as we start doing more and more of that, I'll start posting some of those pictures as we go along. But you guys have a good one, and we will talk to you hopefully later today. I think I'm going to be a little bit late today because we're going to go do the eclipse thing with the kids. But anything else, you guys, questions at chalmerswellness.com, and treeoflife.health, the charity, should be up today and ready to go. So you guys go ahead and go over there and donate there. And if you guys need to buy any supplementation, buy it from pillarsofwellness.com or seawellstore.com. And the profits for that and the proceeds for that will all go to the charity, which we're using ketamine and psychedelics to break PTSD and addiction in first responders and veterans. So if you guys have any, extra time, go check that out. If you guys are needing supplements, get them from Pillars of Wellness. Those things, the pillars of wellness, like I have that set up so they're coming as fresh as possible. So you might order 6 things and they come from 2 different factories or warehouses, I should say. So you might get half one a couple days later, but that's kind of how we're all doing it. So if you guys have any questions at chalmerswellness.com. Thanks for your time.